Some say this restaurant is a must-try, others say it's overrated. So what's the truth? Let's find out. Alright, so the first thing to arrive at the table is the olive oil and then some fresh crudité, some veggies for you to munch on. This is served family style for most of the first half of the menu, and then you do have to choose your secondi, your salad course, and your middle course. So the butter is pig fat butter, and then the salt is mixed with pepper, and the oils are olive oils. And here we have the beef tartare, and it's served in a bone. And this is the beef belly. Okay, so this is the mozzarella.
So the pasta was good. I believe it's fresh pasta rather than dry pasta. The sauce was more rich and more meaty rather than the fresh tomatoey flavor. I think with a meal like this, you need something lighter than the meaty, rich flavor. Would have been a good compliment.
Okay, our mains have arrived. We have the mashed potatoes, we have the T-bone, we got some Parmesan truffle fries over there, and some mushrooms. Here we go. This is the tiramisu made tableside. The plate is warm. You have your lady fingers, your mascarpone, and your sprinkle of cinnamon. Looks delicious. And I do want to say that the service here is amazing. Our waiter, Felix, is so funny. The maitre d' was great. He was able to get our little guy something other than beef and get him the fried chicken that he wanted. So hats off, kudos to the service. As on the other princess ship that we went on the Enchanted, the service here has really been very good. And then we finished the meal with a little grappa. Yeah, this will put hair on your chest. This is high octane. Just wanted to let you know how this works. As we were looking at the menu on the TV here in the room, we weren't really sure how it works, so I just want to frame this for you. So you are given a choice of everything. On the table is a bottle of Chianti. They will give you the Chianti if you would like. I noticed that they let people try it. If you don't like it, they'll give you the wine of your choice as long as it's on the menu. You'll be charged according to your plan. The menu works like this. Everything is family style, so you don't really order anything for yourself for the most part. There's only one time that you get to do that, and that's where you have a choice between the pasta and the prawns and the scallops. Otherwise, everything comes to the table family style, including the steak, and that was a small miscommunication. We thought that we could choose our own steak, and actually we had to share family style the steak, and that's turned out to be fine because there's so much food that comes before that. You will be full by the time that steak hits the table, so don't feel like you're missing out on anything by not having had your own steak. So let's just wrap up our final thoughts on Butcher Block by Dario. If I were not on the Plus or the Premier package, I would skip that restaurant. That's my final thought. Not gonna drag it out, heading straight to the point. I did not care for the flavors of most of the things that were brought to the table. It lacked seasoning, it lacked flavors, it was just, some of it was dry. It was just not my cup of tea, if you will, for a meal. Let's just run right through the courses really fast one more time. Beef carpaccio, Paul said he liked it. He said it was just okay. Nothing to rave about, so that's fine. We had the bread. The bread I thought was just okay. The olive oil even lacked flavor. How does olive oil lack flavor? We also had the tomato and mozzarella. That was delicious. That had nice flavors. That was exactly what I would have expected. So fine on that. You could either have gotten that or a salad. Glad we went with that. Other option was the beef tartare, which Paul liked the beef tartare. Again, he was meh on most of it. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was nothing special. And this is a specialty restaurant, so you want it to be special, and unfortunately it was not. And then we had the beef belly, and I'll stop right here and say everything in the restaurant meat wise was beef. It was a beef restaurant. So we had beef belly. They said that it was prepared for 12 or 14 hours, and it was a little dry. It again had no flavor. I will say that they talked a lot about the salt and pepper, the Tuscan salt and the pepper that was on the table. It seemed like you had to flavor and season your own food, which to me, it should come out of the kitchen flavored. And if I choose to add more, then so be it. But that was a little disappointing as well. It did taste a bit like short rib beef. If you are not familiar with the beef belly, that was my first time trying it. Not put off by it, but hope I would get a better dish of that in a future try. So next to come to the table were the prawns. The prawns were really very, very good. I really liked the presentation. I liked the way they took the prawns out of the shells for you. There was a tiny scallop on each of the plates. Paul and I split those. We both agreed the prawns were delicious, and by this point in the meal I had wised up to it, and I started putting my own salt and pepper on the food to give it some more flavor and some more pop as I ate it. So because of that, the prawns were excellent. The scallops, I didn't love them, and Paul said it right. It was a little bitter. It was charred, but that char was bitter. All right, so when we sat down, the waiter told us that we had our choice between the tender and the chewy meat. So the tender meat was supposed to be the T-bone, and the chewy meat was supposed to be the ribeye. He mentioned that it came from the back of the cow. So we managed to get a combination of both on our plate. And for my money, which was prepaid because we were Premier, the T-bone was chewy. T-bone was chewy. It lacked flavor. It lacked juices. It was dry, and it was medium well, and it was still dry. And as I say medium well, some of it you'll see from the photos and the videos, still it was red in the center, so it was more towards medium rare than well, and it still was horribly dry and chewy. I didn't love it. My mom didn't love it. We doubled down on the sides, which came with it, the mashed potatoes, the french fries, and the mushrooms. And checking with Paul on his ribeye portion of it, he felt like it was lacking a bit. It wasn't your traditional ribeye. It did not have the tenderness and flavor that you normally get in a ribeye. And funnily enough, I did not catch this on video, but the person who always says that there's enough salt in the food was adding the Tuscan salt and pepper to his steak. That's how much it lacks flavor. So that's saying something. The desserts were prepared, at least one of them tableside. We had the tiramisu. So the lady fingers were dropped in some coffee, the mascarpone was put on, and some cinnamon, and served per person. So it was room temperature, not refrigerated. You can get, if you've had tiramisu before, I've had both. So it was just okay. It was really soaked in the coffee. So if you're not a coffee drinker, you're gonna be up tonight. And I'm not a coffee drinker, so I'll be up tonight. And then the other thing that we had was the olive oil cake. That was okay, actually. It reminded me a bit of coffee cake with some sugar sprinkled on top, and that was fine. The last thing that came to the table was the grappa. Whew. The grappa will put hair on your chest. Talk about hair of the dog. It was bright, very bright, and a lot. It was a lot. If you're not like a whiskey liqueur drinker, that's gonna burn on the way down. And so this particular restaurant, in the end, I said it right at the top, this is not a restaurant that I would repeat if I did not have Premier. Even with Premier, I would not do this restaurant again. I would skip it. I would maybe splash out on Love by Brito or try Spellbound just to give those a try. I would not do this one again. I would do Crown Grill twice if I was a steak lover. There seemed to be more of a quantity versus quality play there. You get plenty of courses, but it was meh. I do hope that you have enjoyed this dinner with us at Butcher Block by Dario. If you've tried this restaurant, please let us know what you thought. Did you have a similar experience? Or was your experience better than ours? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And in the meantime, be sure that you check out our playlist for the Sun Princess. We're putting in all of our dining reviews, our embarkation day, all of our room tours. Be sure that you are taking a look at that and subscribe for our next restaurant review, which will be the Crown Grill. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you know when the next adventure begins. And no matter where your next adventures take you, we hope that you enjoy the journey. Bye now.